I thought it might be fun to talk about the meteorite.
Okay. So we don't have a computer with us to do any looking up of it. Mm-hmm. But do you want to go ahead and start talking about it?
Sure. So Brandon found this article. Was it on Facebook?
I don't remember where I found it.
I feel like you probably must have.
Yeah, it was on Facebook, actually. One of my friends posted it.
And I don't know who issued it. So it was about
NASA.
It was NASA directly. Yeah. Okay. So they talked about this meteor that was going to come like the closest or frighteningly. What was the words they used?
They called it
dangerously.
They quoted it or called it the Earth Destroyer.
Oh, I don't remember you reading that part to me.
Or Earth Killer or some crazy thing. And that's why I was like, what the hell is this? And it's like a kilometer across.
Yeah, 1 or 2 kilometers across.
I think it was just 1.
Oh.
But, traveling at like, I don't remember how fast. It was either 2,000 or 200,000. That's a very big difference.
But to us, that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean,
Miles
very
an hour,
fast, dangerous if it were to impact. So he's reading it. It's like Thursday night or something. And so that's all I'm hearing. There's no other details because I think the details were further down.
Further into the article, of course.
And I'm like just kind of freezing like,
I was freaking out a little too.
It said like, Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It's going to pass like dangerously close to Earth Saturday morning. And I'm thinking, but well,
are they sure?
What does that mean? I feel like this would be more all over the news if it was, truly impending disaster. But my brain did start immediately going into, okay, if this is a thing, like, I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm going to like kind of prepare myself. Like my brain started to very quickly prepare itself like to acceptance. Mm-hmm. And like what I would do if, because, we have all... Thanks.
Just a little bit of mouth sounds happening.
Well, I forget how to drink sometimes. And then I was drinking my green tea and I think like we were getting, or maybe I was getting a little worked up. And so I sucked some green tea or spit into my throat and it was choking. And that's still been happening for the last few minutes.
Definitely one of the most humbling things you can do is choke on your own spit.
Yeah.
Humbling
You're supposed to have this involuntary, what do you call it? Reaction? Involuntary? Like, blinking, voluntary, your heartbeat, you don't have to do it, swallowing. Like when you're asleep, you swallow or something, I think. But I can't master that, basic skill. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is humbling. A little, yeah. Anyway. Not as evolved as I thought I was. So, so my brain was just going into, whoa, okay, I'm going to die, in a day and a half. And what do I do? Because you have all these plans and you have all these assumptions that like you're going to live to a certain age, Yeah. I mean, obviously, that anything can happen, but you don't really accept that. And you have this, I don't know if it's just like, I don't think it's like an arrogance, but this, I guess just survival instinct, like this desire, this strong, impulse to live. And you have these plans and they're very important. Mm-hmm. You think they're very important. Like,
well, and society has everything so far planned in the future. I mean, you go to school for years and years.
Yeah.
Like they're assuming you're going to be alive.
Because you have this life and it's very important.
4+ years.
Yeah.
To train yourself into, doing something.
Yeah.
So everything is very like future. I don't even know what you would call it.
Future for planning.
Relying on there being a future pretty far out into the distance.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you just like to think about, well, all that, and it's so unfair. I have these plans. Like I'm just now finally figuring out I want to do podcasts and I want to, this is fun. It's like, obviously we're really early into it, but I'm very excited about it and passionate about it and how unfair. And we just bought this house and we're like doing stuff with it. And mom's finally selling her house. Like all these very little things in the grand scheme of the earth and the universe. But it's so important. It's not fair. Mm-hmm. And then I just thought I started to very quickly go into this mode of acceptance and maybe even like a tiny bit of relief.
Wow. You went through a lot of emotions in that short time.
Yeah.
Because I read into it pretty quick. But the way they write the articles is so crappy. They're like, Earth Earth-destroying meteor headed our way. And it's like, actually not. It's not even going to hit us in 150 years. It probably will hit us maybe in like 300 or more years. Like, maybe?
Yeah, it was like 150 or 112 like million miles away. But like the closest...
It was 200... Or, no, it was 2.7 million miles away.
Oh.
And the moon, I think, is 200,000 miles away. So
I thought it was further than the moon, but closer than Mars.
Yeah, it's further than the moon, but closer than Mars.
So it was a lot, but I guess in space terms, you know.
It's still scary, but it's not, you know, it's not something to be freaking out about if we're not going to be dying from it.
Well, the headline should be,
at least.
You know, like something like, we're going to be okay.
Or just call it a near miss.
Here's this.
Call it what it is, rather than having to have this hook to like, you know, clickbait viewers in, because that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's all these journalists work, and all these stupid Facebook posts. It's like top 10 best blobby blahs, and it's like you click it and they don't even show the pictures that were in the clickbait image. It's just garbage. Basically, it's garbage. And it's sad that NASA is putting out. Well, assuming NASA, I guess NASA.
They probably released the information. I'm assuming in a very scientific, methodical fashion.
Yeah, probably.
And then some Facebook or whatever
journalist,
BuzzFeed or something like that. I mean, yeah, I don't know if other journalists would call that journalism, but they took it and they scrambled it, and it was like, yeah, here's clickbait, here's a hook, but like that's a very irresponsible hook. And you were spending time looking for additional information, knowing that there's got to be more to it. And I'm just like standing in the doorway of the bedroom, like frozen, going through a multitude of emotions and plans, and finally settling on, well, I guess I'll just cuddle Brandon and Charlie and, climb into the fetal position or something and just wait for the end. That's what I'll be doing with my Saturday morning. Wow. But then you read the rest and I was like, oh, cool. And like sat down to work on the podcast or something. So I just wondered, if anyone else went through that process, or if... Probably.
I'm sure people have, because the way they worded it,
Yeah, it was fun. It was just very...
fun. It's fun being afraid and, thinking you might die in the next day or two.
It was an insight into my character. I don't know.
I feel like to call it an Earth destroyer is a bit presumptuous. Is that the right word? Because, it's not an Earth destroyer yet for at least, 300 years.
Well, I guess if that's what they're looking ahead to, and in 300 or 500 years, it will destroy the Earth, then I guess it's appropriate to call it Earth destroyer.
What they said was in 150 years, it'll be closer, but still probably no impact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's definitely very dramatic, and
they should call it what NASA calls everything. They should call it
Meteor 127. Yeah.
Or interrupt me. Oh. That's cool too. Yeah. What would you like to talk about?
I don't know. It's not like a natural segue from what we were talking about. Does my breath smell like spicy bread?
A little bit. Oh, I was wondering what that smell was.
You want to sip on my cocktail?
Yeah, it smelled a bit yeasty. I was like, what is that yeasty smell?
I have a yeast infection. I'm just kidding. I don't. Ham. This looks like super tasty toad experiences, but it's actually super tasty food experiences.
Super tasty food experiences.
Do you want to talk about that? Sure. I know how much you love food.
How about super tasty or weird food experiences? Because I might like to talk about the, my experiences.
Okay.
So you go ahead.
Well,
what is a tasty or weird food that you have had?
Well, I had mountain oysters before. Have you ever had those?
Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, that's the one.
Like the balls? Bowl balls?
Yeah. Is that what they are? Yeah. Those. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
You scared me there for a second, like
they were
actually didn't know.
Battered and No, they told me there was full disclosure.
That's really
and
gross.
I just tried to free my mind. They said...
I would free my lunch.
Mm-hmm. I didn't do that. No, they whoever was preparing it, I think they kind of said it with like a twinkle in their eye, and I had some vague recollection that
What does that mean?
I don't
a twinkle
know,
in their eye?
They knew, let's feed our Rocky Mountain oysters. But I had heard of them before, so I kind of knew, but I didn't want to ask because I was like, what the hell? As long as it's not going to give me some parasite or, food sickness, it's just a weird food. So I'll
just
try
sickness
it.
of the time, the time being.
No, it was fine. And then afterwards I was like, yeah, all right.
What did they
fine.
taste like?
I don't even remember. It was years ago, but it just tasted like a breaded, deep fried meat, I think was how they cooked it.
Weird.
Just like anything else. I mean, really, you're just tasting a bit of protein wrapped inside a battered thing.
Crazy.
So, yeah. But I felt proud of myself, give myself a little pat on the back. I did that.
Good job. Good for you.
I lived my life.
I don't know if I could handle that.
Kind of like eating crickets. I ate crickets with Uncle Joel in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
I think it was just me and him, but they're so seasoned.
Yeah.
You're just tasting a little crunchy proteiny thing, very little protein,
covered in
seasoning. So really a brave thing would have been to taste just a cricket by itself. I feel like it would have been okay. Cricket is not as bad as I think it doesn't have a super bulbous, squishy
guts
body.
A lot of guts.
It's just a bunch of limbs and maybe a bit of carapace. Do they have a carapace? Is that how you say it?
I think they have an exoskeleton.
That. So it's just crunch.
Crabs and stuff have...
It's just a lot of crunch.
Crabs and turtles have carapaces.
Well, I would like to try those next. Oh, I have tried crab.
Soft shell crab?
I don't know. I do like crab. But anyway, so those are my, off the top.
I had a scorpion.
Oh, that's...
Speaking of bugs. But it was in a lollipop. So I finished the lollipop and then I was like, I'm excited.
I'm just going to throw the rest of this away.
See what this scorpion tastes like. And it
Really?
just tasted like the most bitter, disgusting thing I'd ever eaten. So I threw it away.
How does that work? When you get to the inside of the lollipop, and is the scorpion just kind of stuck on the stick? And then do you kind of scrape it off with your teeth? Or
no, it was like
you pulled the candy off and then...
It was like part way still in the candy. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get rid of all the candy. Mm-hmm. It was just sticking out a little bit. And I took a few bites off and it was just it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Probably because it was mostly exoskeleton.
Mm. To be bitter, though? Would that be...
It was really gross.
Mm.
Yeah.
But how many people can say they had a scorpion lollipop?
Probably a lot of people. I mean, they were selling them at the Quickie Mart.
But not as many as, that's, that's a thing. That's a thing you have in your life.
That's true. Probably more can say that they've seen them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But not had them.
I wouldn't eat that.
I mean, the candy part was fine.
Well, of course. I mean, it wasn't scorpion-flavored lollipop.
But you ate crickets.
Crickets? Crickets.
Crickets. You ate crickets.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you ate Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I kind of forgot about that because it was a bit anticlimactic. I was a little disappointed, You
were expecting some gross juice to squirt out of them or something?
Yeah.
I would puke. I would probably puke.
I really... Like if it was juicy and splurchy, squirty.
I mean, I wouldn't actually puke, but I would want to puke.
You would want to. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was just I don't know. It kind of reminded me of eating fried abalone or something. It was not...
Kind of chewy.
I was a little disappointed. I'm going to do this crazy thing, and...
Well, that's good, though. I'm glad it wasn't just a horrible experience.
No, not at all. I'd do it again.
Wow, that's crazy.
Maybe I have quite a taste for them.
That's...
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I used to eat cat food when I was a child, so maybe I developed some weird...
on a daily basis?
Well, I think enough that they had to watch me,
what?
around. I remember there being a cartoon, I think in my baby book, about, is it For Better or For Worse? The comic strip?
I don't know.
And it was trying to feed the kid their food, their baby food or whatever, and then, another panel or two later, the kids on the floor shoving dog food in their mouth. And that was in my baby book because that was me, but with cat food.
Weird.
Yeah. But I have been known to, munch on dog treats, which Amy... As
an adult?
Makes fun of me for. Yeah. Because I think someone once said you should know what. Okay, maybe it was someone
should know
weird
what
who
your
said
dog
that.
is
You would
eating?
know what you should know what you're feeding your dog, and these, they're called Charlie bears, which they're not in the shape of a bear, and they don't look like a Charlie. They're just these little, like the shape of oyster crackers. And I thought, oh, those look good, and I really like oyster crackers, and I just want to see what these are taste. And then I got to a point
Where you were eating them. That's weird.
and they do have that like residual texture that dog treats or food can have. I don't know what that is, but
they're like loaded with preservatives.
but
aren't
the
they?
first maybe
That's probably
got a
it,
little
because they
spitty.
have
The
to have
first-
like a 10-year shelf life or some crazy thing.
But the first taste is just like a crunchy kind of little cracker that's like a little bit thicker than an oyster cracker.
Mhm.
But then at the end, you're like, oh yeah, this is a dog treat. I don't know why I did that.
That's funny. I've eaten dog cookies, and
Uh-huh.
they're not good.
Well, because you probably watched Scooby-Doo and you're like, oh, Scooby and Shaggy would always eat the Scooby snacks, and like dog biscuits, they must be good, and they're just not.
No, I had a friend that would just like eat them sometimes, and
I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, there are people
tried
who
it as
eat
well.
like bricks and hair and you know, you
Airplanes
just-
and buses.
Exactly.
Like,
What is that called?
You got a problem. You
Yeah.
got a problem eating all kinds of crazy stuff you shouldn't eat, like the glass
What's the
eating people.
scientific technical term for it?
That's the Latin term for it.
hmm Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think mine's pretty mild and harmless. And yeah, I wanted to just make sure my dog was eating good stuff. So I had a few more than I needed to.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah. So I think it was the liver flavor was...
Ew.
No, it was like... There was like liver, peanut butter... Any peanut butter flavor thing I'm just not super a fan of. Because it's just peanut butter.
You're not
but
a super fan of?
Not when it's like in a treat form. Like
Oh.
I just think, especially for a dog, that's not going to be exciting. Oh, actually, no. It was probably the chicken flavor I like the best.
Hmm.
So I'm weird. So I'm into eating... Yeah.
Dog food?
Yeah. No, I didn't eat dog food.
Dog treats.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dog treats that probably are interchangeable with like baby treats. I mean, they probably use those.
Baby treats.
You know, they say they're it's like people food that you feed to your dog. So yeah.
Speaking of liver, Billy one time made Adam and I liver sandwiches. They were like cold liver
gross.
sandwiches.
Gross.
And I think it was like a liver salad type thing. I don't remember exactly. But I think I took one bite and it was just awful. I don't know why people eat liver.
My mom likes liver.
It's so disgusting.
She shares liver with her. Like she would buy like the whole chickens from this meat CSA. I think you and I met when she was still doing that. And they would, I think, the liver gets like pulled aside or like packaged separately.
Mm-hmm.
And she would cook that specifically and like share it with the dogs. It just has a weird texture.
So gross.
Yeah.
And taste.
Yeah.
The flavor is awful. Maybe
Yeah.
just because I ate it cold and unseasoned,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just disgusting. I bit into it thinking I was going to be able to handle it because I've eaten,
And you were being
different
polite
things.
and like, oh, thanks, you made this thing for me.
Mm-hmm. She wasn't there. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, okay.
I bit into it and it was just like, I don't know. I can't compare it to anything really. It was just disgusting.
What was with her making all those weird foods, like chicken soup with the bones in it, and
Chicken soup. With
remember, I feel like
bones
you
in
said
it.
that, or some kind of chicken sandwich where like she left the bones in it. Like, did she just fancy herself kind of a gourmet, and then she felt super benevolent bringing you guys food, and you were like, it was always weird,
I think she liked making weird foods.
or was
and
it a
stuff.
subtle like I'm gonna pretend like I'm making them this thing, and they're gonna feel bad and they're gonna eat it, but I'm really fucking with them because it's disgusting.
like a power move or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I
I
don't.
could see that.
I don't really know because she would make something for Adam that he would like, and it was like
Oh,
some like pig feet or pig
actually
snouts
liked it,
or
or
chicken
just-
feet, something like that. He actually liked it, and I just was not into it.
Mm.
I prefer like normal, your average
A
run of the
hamburger,
day
a bologna sandwich.
meat,
Yeah.
like muscle,
Mhm.
normal muscle. I don't like organ meat. Organ
Mhm.
meat is gross to me. Doesn't
Mhm.
taste good. I've eaten heart before.
Ooh.
I've eaten, I don't know. It's just not good.
What kind of heart have you eaten?
Chicken hearts.
Oh.
I said A because I forgot that I ate multiple of them.
What, where, when, and why?
They were on a skewer.
Who was
I was-
preparing this?
This was
Whose bright idea?
This was when
we
was
ran
in
out of all the
Japan.
good meats. Oh, okay. Right. I forgot about that.
I was at an izakaya, and that's like a Japanese style pub type place, and there are a bunch of them all over the place, different names. But the guy I was meeting, the language exchange friend, he ordered a bunch of crazy stuff on the menu. I assume he did it deliberately.
We were discussing power moves, so
yeah, I think it was just to maybe show me
mess with the white guy.
Maybe, yeah. So he ordered yakitori, which is just cooked chicken and different parts of the chicken. So there was a skewer there were a few skewers, I think, loaded up with chicken hearts. And I ate like 2 or 3 of them, maybe 4. And just the problem I had with that is when you bite through it, you feel the pop of every part of...
The valves?
Every...
What is popping?
It's like the every part of the muscle. So you feel like the popping through is like pop, 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 pop. And it's just... And I just remember feeling like I ate this animal's soul.
I'm imbued with its strength and
I have consumed
vitality.
These 4 chickens'
Its knowledge.
souls. And it just... I didn't feel good after. Even though, I mean, it was fine.
They probably had bad lives.
It didn't make me feel sick. Oh my gosh. It's so sad.
It just made you sad.
It just made me sad. And
sorry.
there was like chicken cartilage.
Chiggling.
And chicken, I don't know if it was like boiled chicken bones or if it was chicken
Boiled
cartilage.
Chicken bones?
Yeah, it was weird. But and full fish. I ate some fish that were like, I don't know, like half a foot long, something like that. Full fish. They were good, but their heads were really gross. I ate one of their heads and it was just bitter. So I think brains maybe don't taste good.
Did I just let them run their course?
The dogs are barking.
Literally barking.
As opposed to figuratively barking?
Like my dogs are barking if you're...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if your toes
our
are
feet
nasty.
aren't literally barking. The dogs out in the bedroom are literally barking. But so we ordered that and full fish and try to get through the list. Raw horse meat.
Which you did not try.
I didn't try because I was afraid of it. I was afraid of getting like some sort of parasite or something. You know, how maybe you shouldn't eat raw mammal meat, something like that.
Mammal meat. I like the way that sounds.
Mammal meat.
But yes, in all seriousness, I don't know. I don't want to eat any raw, except
you eat raw fish.
I guess that's the only thing.
But even then you can get
because
parasites.
Somebody skilled at preparing it has told me it's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I totally understand the hypocrisy of saying, as Americans, we can eat this, we can't eat that, therefore, you can't eat that. I mean, we eat cows, like, they're sacred to Hindu people, so, but yeah, I definitely have a problem with eating horse meat. I would definitely have a problem with that.
I don't think I'd have a problem eating cooked horse meat. Because, I mean, I know my mom loves horses, and she would not be happy with me saying that.
She'd probably
murder
eat you.
me. But, like, they are basically...
A cow?
They're a prey animal, and they are kind of like a herd animal. They, we're
going to have to edit this, or we can't let her listen to this.
No,
She will.
I'm choosing my words carefully, but they are kind of like, a prey animal that run in herds, and they're similar to cow. Like, I don't like eating cow. Whenever you see a cow, they're all, like, cute and innocent. It's like, I can't believe we eat you. But
why do you have to be so delicious? Stop it.
Stop being so delicious with barbecue sauce.
Do we do a warning at the beginning of this for any vegetarians or vegans? I mean...
Could do.
Yeah. So, warning, explicit meat-eating content. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I don't think it'd be the raw part that would bug me. I think it'd be just the horse part that would bug me. Because I think of them as... I think the way I think of dogs, kind of a pet, something with intelligence that we've just domesticated and bonded with. I I don't know.
But horses are a different kind of animal. I mean,
I know.
Obviously,
No,
they're a different kind of animal, but they're a prey animal.
That's my
my point.
That's my own personal. I mean, I don't love dogs because they're a predator animal or domesticated. Like, it's just, they're pets, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I would have a problem, I think, with that.
In my mind, they're kind of classified in the same group as like, cow, pigs, those like farm animals.
Yeah.
I don't know why I group them in with those.
I understand that. I think if I had more willpower and had more like readily available options, I would be vegetarian. I have a real struggle with that.
Because you have to be able to eat all day.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely could. I do that anyway. But
oh, well then why aren't you vegetarian?
Because I have to prepare. Because I don't like raw vegetables. Because they're kind of gross.
That's
you
true.
got to chew a lot. I mean, when I was in FA and I had to eat 2 large salads every day, it was like it took a full half hour or more just to eat and chew, because I had to chew all my food and fork it and chew it and swallow it and digest it. Very good for me, but I mean, I was allowed to have animal protein, but if I had more time, if work and just human schedule wasn't so stressful, it'd be different. But it's just so much easier. And I'm just accustomed to buying and preparing protein.
Well, I feel like...
Yeah,
Sorry.
It would be an adjustment, but I could do it. I'm just not motivated. And it would be an adjustment, I think, to my body, or my brain would be like, I want animal protein. But so when you're talking about, why can't you eat horse but you can eat cow, or just kind of posing that, like, I would prefer not to eat any of them. And I
get that.
I'm not like trying to advocate that people do that. And I know that people's livelihoods depend on it, but just personal choice would be not to.
Well, it's different I think for people who've like never been on a farm, never seen a chicken, never seen a cow, like, yeah, you can eat them and you're fine. But like,
it's just a piece of meat. They don't have it didn't come from a fully formed animal with a life and
if you actually meet them, and I don't know. I don't want to say anything,
I'm just picturing you meeting a cow, like shaking its hand. Now that we've properly met, you. I can't eat you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I lost where I was going. It's fine.
I am very excited about lab-grown meat.
I'm not.
Not like excited like to taste it, but just for what it can give me, but coming
save
not from
other
an animal.
animals.
Yeah.
We should just eat bugs. We should just figure out how to...
I'm not excited about that. Can you picture eating that friggin' spider that we found earlier? Like, with its bulbous body.
I could if it's like prepped right. That's the thing though, is like learn how...
Sorry.
Are you
learn
okay?
how to prep your spiders.
No.
Oh.
I mean, just learn how to like prep decent bugs to eat. I think that makes more sense to me than making fake meat in a lab, growing fake meat in a lab.
Which is weird because you love bugs.
I mean, you can do both. There's, do both, but also I think it makes sense to work on making bugs palatable.
I think it's more just because we're so reliant and accustomed to eating animal protein.
Like,
excuse me, that's why they're doing it instead of, and it gives you, I guess, protein.
It's surprising that we don't have a cricket burger, basically.
They're not, the crickets aren't big enough.
I mean, it would take a lot, and they'd have to be little patties.
Decimating the cricket population.
I'm pretty sure you can, like,
I know,
mass produce them.
But I thought you liked bugs. Like, I feel like
I have no desire to kill them or hurt them, but But
you're really pushing this eating of them.
Well, there are a lot of them. And it takes...
more than enough to go around.
It takes far less resources to farm them, and it just makes kind of more sense, doesn't it? Isn't that what people have been saying?
Have they?
Yeah.
They're saying that we need to farm crickets?
Farm bugs and eat them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because, I mean, the amount of land it takes for cattle. And, I mean, isn't that why Brazil has been being burnt? Because they're burning down forests and clearing forests so they can make room for cattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can sell to McDonald's or whoever.
I don't know. I mean,
Isn't
I'm
that
not
why
really
that's
up
happening?
on the current events around that.
I'm not either, but I
that's,
just get it from Facebook.
Yeah, well, that is a very reliable source.
Are you being sarcastic?
Only a little. But yes, I know they come from, I know that comes from, some of that stuff does come from real news sources. So yeah, I think that is true. But, I mean, it's just such a huge industry and...
That's the problem. That's why we have plastic. Endless plastic.
Plastic for days.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to talk about these depressing subjects?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know stuff about this.
Are you done with
I'm mostly speculating because I haven't looked into any of it.
Do your research. You guys are ignorant. Well, fuck off. You don't have to listen. Go somewhere
I don't
else.
actually look into anything. It's like any political stuff or any
click
like
and become enraged.
Any political stuff or any kind of, end of the world-y type plastic epidemic stuff. It's always from Facebook and me just scrolling and going, oh, that makes me sad. And then I read a few lines and I'm like, okay, I guess that's happening. Even though it couldn't, it could be untrue or whatever. But that's my exposure to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, ditto. Okay, well, what about any other weird food stories? Have you tasted anything else weird? Any other kind of bugs or, animal sexual organs?
Have you
eaten like pig snout or feet or ears or anything like that?
Although they do have fried pig ears at like Willie's or something in Santa Rosa.
Like
Willie's wine bar or whatever. They have like fried pig ears.
Did that place burn down?
I don't actually know.
Oh, okay. We buy pig's ears for the dogs, but didn't think there was that for people.
That's basically what I said.
It does look good. It's crunchy.
Gross. Gross.
Poor little piggies. Well, I had a thought about
go on.
I have natto written down because it's not like really out there, but it is a weird food.
I bet a lot of people haven't heard of it.
How did you just see it at the Asia Mart or did you see it first on the internet?
I ate it the first time in a class I was in when I was in Japan. The teacher brought some in and gave some to me. And she was like, what do you think about this? And I was like, it tastes like coffee. And I didn't like it then. And now I don't like it now. Now I like it a lot.
So it's fermented soybeans, right? And you can buy it like we buy it at the Asia Mart in these little packets. And it's really weird because it just reminds me of, like gross spider web nest or, the xenomorph.
It's very slimy.
Nests in Aliens where when they're bundling people up to impregnate them. So it's slimy. You take the lid off. It's just, there's a bunch of slime, kind of white goop, which,
and as you're eating it, it slimes from your spoon to your mouth.
It's hard to break the strings of slime, but, so it is kind of slimy, but it's supposedly very good for you. And then I kept saying to people, it's a superfood. It's really good for you.
It's got like bacillus.
Apparently, superfood is a marketing term that's been invented to make people think like, oh, this is really good for you.
But
I think it is good for you.
There's actually some kind of bacteria, would you call it, that's good for your gut in it. So,
and fermented foods are good for you, I think. Like
I guess so.
Kimchi and I forget what else, but it's good. Yeah, like the first couple times I ate it, and I was like, nah, you go ahead. You go to town. You have it. And then the way you started seasoning it and then mixing it with scrambled eggs and some rice, I think, is really good. And then I kind of very quickly acquired that taste. And I know you've described it as like a coffee taste. I don't know how I would.
The first time I tried it, definitely. But now it's obviously different.
I don't know. I really like it. So I would highly recommend that you go out to your local Asia Mart and try it. But you can also make it, but I think you have to have like a starter batch. Like kind of like you do with like, I think bread or like if you're going to make.
You need the mother or whatever.
But you can it will kind of grow and spread in the right conditions, we haven't had the energy or motivation to do that yet because it is kind of a process. But
yeah, it's like
it would be nice to make it ourselves and not have to go because it's like comes in a plastic container and But yeah, I like that a lot. Natto, Natto, Japanese, right? Yeah.
Natto.
Natto, and it's fun to say. Natto, want some natto and egg? Sure.
And you'll find it in refrigerators because they gotta keep that. They gotta keep it fresh.
Keep that bacteria on lockdown. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is very good. I like it a lot.
Just eating a big clump of slimy beans. Anyway, so what else do we have?
Thank you all for watching.
They're not watching.
Thank you all for listening.